Have you ever looked at her and wondered, is she really who she says she is? What's behind the mask she wears for the world? In today's world, where actions rarely match words, it's harder than ever to know if the woman standing by your side is truly the one or just playing a role. But what if I told you there's a way to see through it all, a way to know her real intentions, her real character, and whether she's the right woman for you? This is not about guessing, it's about certainty. Today, we're diving into 5 undeniable truths that reveal her real self. Truths most people don't want to face, but you can't afford to ignore. The kind of truths that could save you years of regret and frustration. Stay with me, because once you learn these, you'll never see relationships the same way again. Men, we're living in a time where clarity in relationships has never been more important. The stakes are high, and the cost of getting it wrong can be devastating. You've seen it, the heartbreak, the wasted years, the lies. Maybe you've felt it firsthand. Maybe you've trusted only to be betrayed. But you're not alone, and you're not powerless. Here's the hard truth. Not every woman is who she appears to be. Some will play the part perfectly, sweet, supportive, loyal, but only as long as it serves them. The moment the spotlight fades, their true colors begin to show. This isn't cynicism, this is reality. But here's the good news. You don't have to be fooled. There are signs, clear as day if you know where to look. Today, I'm giving you 5 unapologetic truths about women, truths that will open your eyes, sharpen your instincts, and give you the power to see her for who she really is. This isn't about hate, it's about awareness. It's about arming yourself with the knowledge to make better choices, to protect your energy, your time, and your heart. By the time you finish this video, you'll know what to look for. You'll understand the patterns, the behaviors, and the hidden clues that separate the ones who are genuine from the ones who are just playing the game. So ask yourself right now, are you ready to see the truth? Are you ready to step into a mindset where you're no longer the one being fooled, but the one who sees everything clearly? Stay with me, because the last of these 5 truths is the one most men never see coming, and the one that will change how you approach every relationship from now on. Let's begin. Number 1, how she treats the powerless. If you want to understand who someone truly is, don't listen to their words. Watch what they do when they think no one important is paying attention. How a woman treats the powerless isn't just a small detail. It's the very core of her character laid bare. This isn't just a red flag. It's a flashing neon sign that screams who she really is underneath the charm, the smile, and the polished exterior. You cannot ignore this, and if you do, you're playing with fire. When a woman walks into a coffee shop and rolls her eyes at the barista because her latte took an extra 30 seconds, that's not just impatience, it's entitlement. It's a sense of superiority that she believes no one will call out. But you saw it, and deep down, you know it's not just about coffee. It's about how she sees people who can't give her what she wants. Now, imagine this. You're at a restaurant, and the waitress gets the order wrong. She sighs loudly, crosses her arms, and starts with, "Well, this is unacceptable." Every word drips with condescension. She's not upset about the food. She's upset that someone dared to make a mistake in her presence. Does this sound like the kind of person you can build a life with? Someone who demands perfection from strangers, but probably can't take criticism herself. There's a deeper issue here. It's not about one bad interaction. It's about the pattern. This behavior doesn't stay limited to strangers. One day, that disdain, that impatience, and that entitlement will be directed at you. Because when the masks come off, and trust me, they always do, she will treat you exactly as she treats the people she thinks are beneath her. Think about this. You're running late. Maybe it's traffic or an unavoidable delay. How does she react? Does she calmly understand? Or does she send a string of passive-aggressive texts, questioning your respect for her time? The way she responds in these moments of inconvenience shows you her true nature. A woman who lacks empathy for strangers will struggle to give it to you when things aren't perfect. And here's the kicker: life is rarely perfect. Kindness isn't about grand gestures. It's about the little things, the thank yous, the genuine smiles, the way she acknowledges the person cleaning up spilled coffee in a crowded shop. These are the moments where her heart reveals itself. Because if she's truly compassionate, it's not an act she switches on for show, it's who she is. Some might say, but she's just having a bad day. And maybe that's true once or twice. But you know what's not a bad day? A pattern, a repeated lack of respect for people who can't do anything for her. Because let me tell you, when someone's kindness is transactional, it's not kindness at all. It's strategy. And you deserve better than someone who views the world through the lens of what's in it for me. How does she treat the people who are vulnerable, those who have nothing to give back? Imagine walking past a homeless person on the street. Does she avoid eye contact, pretend they don't exist, or worse, does she mock their situation with some offhanded comment about how they probably deserve it? That's not just a lack of kindness. That's a lack of humanity. Contrast that with a woman who acknowledges them, even in a small way. Maybe she doesn't have cash, but she offers a warm smile or a kind word. That's someone who understands that respect isn't reserved for the privileged, it's for everyone. A woman like that is rare, and when you find her, you'll know. This might hurt to hear, but if she lacks respect for the powerless, it's because she lacks respect for herself. A secure, confident woman doesn't need to tear others down to feel tall. She doesn't see kindness as a weakness. She sees it as strength. Think back to every relationship that ended badly. Were there signs like this? Moments where she treated someone poorly and you brushed it off thinking it wasn't a big deal? Because here's the truth. It's always a big deal. Character is consistent. It doesn't show up only in the big moments. It reveals itself in the tiny interactions most people overlook. You're not like most men. You've started noticing these things because you've been through enough to know what matters. You're here because you want to stop making the same mistakes. And that means paying attention to what truly matters. Not her words, not her Instagram captions, but her actions. Here's a challenge for you. The next time you're with her, observe when she thinks no one's watching. How does she treat the people around her? And don't just look for the obvious, watch for the subtle signs. Does she acknowledge the person holding the door open for her? Does she interrupt people mid-sentence because she thinks her thoughts are more important? These aren't small things, they're everything. Because one day, when the honeymoon phase is over and real life sets in, her true colors won't be a mystery anymore. They'll be your reality. And if you ignored these signs, you'll only have yourself to blame. A woman of true character is rare. She's the one who treats everyone with dignity, whether they serve in her coffee, deliver her packages, or share their struggles. She's the one who doesn't need to be told to be kind because it's second nature. And when you find her, you'll never have to wonder if she's genuine. It'll be obvious. But if you're with someone who lacks that respect, someone who lets their mask slip when it's inconvenient to be kind, you need to ask yourself a hard question. Is this the kind of person you want to invest your time and energy in? Because your time is valuable, your energy is sacred, and the wrong woman will drain both without a second thought. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep ignoring the signs, hoping things will magically change? Or are you going to start valuing yourself enough to demand better? Every relationship begins with observation. And now you know what to look for. Her true colors aren't hidden. They're right there in front of you. All you have to do is pay attention. And when you see the truth, don't ignore it. Respect yourself enough to walk away if what you see doesn't align with what you deserve. This isn't about being harsh or judgmental. It's about protecting yourself, your time, and your future. Because the woman you choose will either elevate your life or pull you down. And it all starts with how she treats the powerless. Number 2, her reaction to adversity. If you truly want to know who someone is, don't look at them when life is easy. Anyone can smile, be kind, and act composed when everything is going their way. True character isn't forged in comfort, it's revealed in chaos. A woman's reaction to adversity is the ultimate test of who she is. It's not just a glimpse into her soul, it's the full picture. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss the warnings that could save you from years of regret. Think about this. Life isn't a smooth road. It's full of sharp turns, unexpected bumps, and moments where you'll need someone to lean on. The question is, will she stand by you, or will she crumble? Will she be your partner, or will she become another problem? The way she handles adversity doesn't just show you who she is. It shows you whether or not she's built for the reality of life. Imagine she faces a setback. Maybe she's overlooked for a promotion or something doesn't go her way. Does she immediately start pointing fingers, blaming her boss, her colleagues, or even you? Or does she take a deep breath, reassess, and figure out what she can control to move forward? A woman who blames the world for her problems is a woman who will never grow. She's a woman who will always expect someone else to fix her life, and that someone will usually be you. Now, picture an argument. Maybe you had a misunderstanding or a difference of opinion. Does she keep the focus on resolving the issue, or does she weaponize everything you've ever told her in confidence? Does she drag in unrelated issues, twist your words, and turn the disagreement into a full-blown attack? A woman who fights to hurt rather than to heal isn't someone you can build a future with, because when the stakes are high, when the pressure's on, she'll choose her ego over your partnership. Adversity doesn't create character, it exposes it. It peels back the layers and shows you exactly who she is. When life gets real, does she rise to the occasion, or does she retreat into self-pity? Does she lash out, or does she keep her composure? These aren't small questions. They're the foundation of everything that comes next. Because if she can't handle adversity with grace now, how will she handle the challenges you'll inevitably face together? Let's talk about loyalty. When life gets tough, you need someone who will stand beside you, not someone who disappears when it's inconvenient. A woman's reaction to your adversity is just as revealing as her reaction to her own. Say you lose your job. Does she offer support, encouragement, and a plan to get through it together? Or does she start dropping hints that maybe you're not the man she thought you were? A woman who measures your worth by your paycheck is a woman who will abandon you the moment you can't meet her expectations. But it's not just about the big things. The small moments matter just as much. Maybe your car breaks down and you're stuck waiting for a tow truck. Does she complain about how this ruins her plans? Or does she sit with you, making the best of a frustrating situation? The way she handles inconveniences tells you how she'll handle a crisis. Because adversity doesn't announce itself, it shows up uninvited, and how she reacts in those moments will define your experience of life together. You might think, what if she's just having a bad day? But bad days don't excuse bad patterns. Watch for consistency. If she consistently reacts to challenges with anger, blame, or self-pity, that's not a phase, it's a habit. And habits don't change unless there's a deep commitment to growth. The question is, does she even recognize her patterns, or does she see herself as the victim of every situation? Strength isn't about pretending to be unaffected by adversity. It's about facing it with courage and resilience. A strong woman doesn't deny her emotions. She feels them, processes them, and uses them to grow. If she's the kind of person who falls apart at every minor inconvenience, what will happen when the real challenges come? What happens when the stresses of work, family, and life pile up? Will she rise, or will she let the weight crush both of you? You deserve a woman who's built for life's battles, someone who can stand in the storm with you and not lose herself, or worse, turn on you. A woman who can handle adversity with grace will bring peace to your life, not chaos. She'll be a partner, not a liability. And that peace, that partnership, is what you need if you're going to build a future together. Here's what you need to do. Pay attention. Watch how she reacts when things don't go as planned. Don't ignore the signs, hoping she'll grow out of it. People don't change unless they want to. And if she's not showing signs of growth now, don't assume it'll come later. Your time is too valuable to invest in someone who isn't willing to grow alongside you. And remember this, you're not just watching her, you're setting the standard for what you'll tolerate. If you accept a partner who can't handle adversity with grace, you're teaching her and yourself that you're willing to settle. Don't do that. Demand better, not from a place of arrogance, but from a place of self-respect. Because the woman who can handle adversity with strength and integrity is the woman who will make your life better, not harder. When you find her, you won't have to ask if she's the one. You'll know. She'll be the woman who doesn't just stand beside you in the good times, but who walks through the fire with you when life gets tough. And that, my friend, is what real partnership looks like. That's what you deserve. Don't settle for less. Number 3. How she handles small wins and successes. Small victories reveal big truths. A woman's reaction to her wins, whether it's a minor achievement or a moment of recognition, shows you everything you need to know about her character. You don't need a dramatic scenario or a life-changing event to see who she really is. Pay attention to the small things. When she wins, even in the smallest way, is she humble, grateful, and grounded, or does her ego take center stage? Imagine this. She gets a compliment on her work from her boss. Does she share it with you, excited to let you know about her progress and give credit where it's due? Or does she make it all about herself, framing the story as if she's single-handedly carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders? That small reaction isn't just a reflection of her attitude towards success. It's a window into how she sees relationships and teamwork. Success doesn't change people. It strips away their filters and shows you who they've been all along. If she gloats about every little win, exaggerating her role and dismissing the efforts of others, you're looking at someone who sees life as a competition where she always needs to come out on top. And here's the hard truth. If she views success as a chance to elevate herself by stepping on others, one day you'll find yourself under her heel. On the flip side, watch out for false humility. Some women mask their arrogance behind modesty that isn't genuine. Maybe she deflects a compliment, but then spends the next hour bringing it up again, fishing for more praise. It's subtle, but it reveals a deep need for validation that can become exhausting over time. A secure woman doesn't need constant reassurance. She knows her worth and doesn't rely on external accolades to prove it. Think about social media. When she achieves something, does she immediately post about it, carefully curating her captions to maximize likes and comments? Does she constantly need the world to applaud her, even for the smallest milestones? That tells you a lot about where her priorities lie. A woman who lives for external validation will never find contentment within herself, and that lack of peace will spill over into your relationship. Success, no matter how small, is a mirror that reflects what's inside. A woman with genuine character celebrates her wins with gratitude. She acknowledges the people who helped her along the way, even if it's just a word of encouragement or a helping hand. She doesn't see success as a solo journey, she sees it as a shared victory. If she's capable of sharing her joy with others, especially with you, it shows that she values connection over competition. Now, let's talk about envy. Some women can't handle seeing others succeed, even when they're achieving their own goals. Maybe you've noticed this before. She gets a small win, but instead of enjoying it, she immediately shifts her focus to someone else who's doing better. She compares, she criticizes, and she minimizes their success to make herself feel bigger. That's not ambition, that's insecurity in its rawest form. When she wins, does she encourage others to rise alongside her? Or does she use her success as a way to distance herself from people she thinks are beneath her? A truly confident woman doesn't need to prove her worth by putting others down. She knows that lifting others up doesn't diminish her light, it strengthens it. If she can't handle small wins with grace, don't expect her to handle big ones any better. What about when you succeed? Let's say you get a promotion, close a deal, or hit a personal milestone. How does she react? Is she genuinely happy for you, celebrating your achievement as if it's her own? Or does she downplay it, making the moment about herself? If she can't celebrate your success, it's a clear sign that she sees your wins as a threat to her ego. That's not partnership, that's rivalry. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual support. Your success should never feel like a competition. A good woman will cheer you on, not because it benefits her, but because she wants to see you win. She understands that your growth is her growth, and that a relationship isn't about keeping score, it's about building something greater together. Small wins also reveal her emotional stability. Does she get overly attached to her victories, letting them define her self-worth? Or does she keep them in perspective, knowing that success is just one part of a balanced life? A woman who chases external validation, using her achievements as a way to fill an internal void, will never feel fulfilled. And if she's not fulfilled within herself, she'll never be able to bring peace and stability to your relationship. Here's what you need to watch for. Does she handle her success with humility and gratitude? Or does she let it inflate her sense of self-importance? Does she share her joy with the people who matter? Or does she use her wins to create distance and superiority? Does she celebrate quietly with dignity? Or does she need the whole world to know she's winning? Ask yourself, can you imagine building a life with someone who needs to be the center of attention every time something good happens? Someone who can't find joy in the moment without turning it into a performance. That kind of energy is draining, and over time, it will take a toll on your emotional well-being. But when you find a woman who handles her wins with grace, you'll notice the difference immediately. She won't need to broadcast her achievements to the world because she's secure in who she is. She'll celebrate with you, not to impress you, but because she values your presence in her life. Her success will feel like your success, and that's how you know she's a keeper. Success is a test, and not everyone passes. Watch how she handles the small wins because they're a preview of how she'll handle the big ones. Pay attention to her actions, her words, and her energy, and when you see something that doesn't sit right, don't ignore it. Your instincts are there for a reason. Trust them. Number 4, her relationships with close friends. If you want to truly understand a woman, don't just focus on how she treats you. Look at how she interacts with her closest friends. These are the people she's known for years, the ones who've been there through her highs and lows. Her friendships are a mirror of her character, her values, and how she handles relationships as a whole. If there's dysfunction in her friendships, there will be dysfunction with you. It's not a question of if, but when. Think about this. Friendships are voluntary. They're not bound by contracts or commitments like work or marriage. They exist because both people choose to stay. So, if her closest friendships are toxic, filled with drama, jealousy, or constant breakups and reconciliations, ask yourself why. Healthy friendships are built on respect, loyalty, and trust. If she can't maintain those qualities with the people who know her best, how can you expect her to maintain them with you? Watch how she talks about her friends. Does she speak highly of them, sharing their successes and celebrating their wins? Or does she criticize, belittle, or mock them when they're not around? A woman who tears down her own friends isn't just unkind, she's insecure. She needs to diminish others to feel bigger, and if she's doing it to them, don't think for a second she won't do it to you when the opportunity arises. What about gossip? Gossip isn't harmless chatter, it's a weapon. If she spends hours dissecting her friends' lives, sharing their secrets, and exposing their vulnerabilities, understand this: she will do the same with yours. The moment you let her into your world, every detail you share becomes ammunition for her conversations with others. A woman who can't respect the privacy of her friends won't respect yours either. Privacy is a boundary, and if she crosses it with them, she'll cross it with you. Now let's dig deeper. What does her circle look like? Are her friends supportive, stable, and uplifting, or are they chaotic, unreliable, and full of drama? The people she surrounds herself with reflect her standards, her choices, and her own behavior. If her inner circle is constantly at war, filled with betrayals and petty fights, don't dismiss it as just her friends. That chaos is part of her world, and if you step into it, it will become part of yours. Friendships are where people practice their relationship skills. How she navigates conflicts with her friends will tell you how she'll navigate conflicts with you. If she's quick to cut people off over minor disagreements, what do you think will happen when you hit a rough patch? If she holds grudges, refuses to apologize, or demands loyalty without offering it in return, these patterns won't magically disappear when she's with you. They'll only intensify. Let's not ignore loyalty. Loyalty isn't just about standing by someone, it's about standing for them. Does she defend her friends when they're not around, or does she join in on the criticism? Does she show up for them when they're struggling, or does she only appear when it's convenient? A woman who lacks loyalty in her friendships will never offer you the kind of unwavering support you deserve. True loyalty is rare, but when you see it, it's unmistakable. It's steady, consistent, and unshakable, even when it's inconvenient. Let's talk about jealousy. Jealousy between friends isn't just a minor flaw, it's a poison. If she can't celebrate her friend's successes without feeling threatened, that insecurity will creep into your relationship. Maybe her friend gets a promotion, buys a new car, or gets engaged. Does she feel genuinely happy for them, or does she downplay their achievement, making snide remarks or shifting the conversation back to herself? Jealousy doesn't stay contained. If she's jealous of her friends, she'll be jealous of anyone she perceives as competition in your life too. And then there's gratitude. Gratitude is the cornerstone of healthy relationships. Does she thank her friends for the little things, helping her move, listening to her problems, or simply being there when she needs them? Or does she take their efforts for granted, expecting their support without ever acknowledging it? A woman who lacks gratitude will never appreciate the effort you put into the relationship. Over time, that lack of appreciation will leave you feeling drained and unvalued. Here's a question to ask yourself. Does she have long-term friendships? Not just acquaintances she occasionally sees, but deep, enduring connections that have lasted years. If her friendships are all short-lived, always ending in conflict or betrayal, that's not a coincidence. It's a pattern. A woman who can't maintain lasting relationships with her friends won't suddenly become a relationship expert with you. Long-term friendships require compromise, patience, and forgiveness. qualities that are essential in any partnership. What about her friendships with other women? Women often bond deeply with each other, sharing vulnerabilities and building strong emotional connections. If she struggles to maintain friendships with other women, constantly labeling them as too dramatic or jealous, take a closer look. Is it really about them, or is it about her inability to navigate female relationships with maturity and respect? A woman who can't connect with other women will struggle to connect with you on a deep emotional level. Conflict resolution is another critical aspect. When she has a disagreement with a friend, how does she handle it? Does she communicate openly, seeking to understand and resolve the issue, or does she shut down, ghosting them, or escalating the situation unnecessarily? The way she handles conflict with her friends is a direct reflection of how she'll handle conflict with you. If her first instinct is to run, lash out, or play the victim, don't expect her to suddenly develop healthier habits in your relationship. Now, let's address one of the most telling signs: how she talks about her ex-friends. If every story she tells involves her being the innocent victim and her friend being the villain, proceed with caution. Relationships, including friendships, are rarely one-sided. A woman who constantly blames others for the end of her friendships isn't taking responsibility for her own actions, and if she can't take responsibility with them, she won't take it with you either. Friendship is a choice. It's not bound by obligation. So, the way she treats her friends is the clearest indicator of how she'll treat you. When the choice becomes difficult, will she stand by you, or will she walk away when it's no longer convenient? Will she support you, or will she tear you down behind your back? Her friendships are the blueprint for your future together. Study them carefully. You deserve a woman who values loyalty, respect, and gratitude. A woman who lifts her friends up, celebrates their successes, and shows up for them in times of need. Because a woman who can build strong, healthy friendships is a woman who will build a strong, healthy relationship with you. Anything less is a warning sign, and ignoring it will only lead to heartbreak. Number 5. What she does when no one is watching. If you truly want to know who someone is, watch what they do when no one is around to see it. Words are easy, appearances are curated, and actions in the spotlight are often performed for an audience. But the real test of a woman's character, her values, and her integrity is found in the moments when there's no one to impress, no one to judge, and no one to reward her. This is where the truth lives. Imagine this. She's walking through a parking lot and sees someone struggling with heavy bags. There's no one else around. Does she stop to offer help, or does she avert her eyes and keep walking? The way she acts in this quiet, unnoticed moment reveals more about her than any grand gesture ever could. Because when she's not seeking validation, the only thing guiding her is who she really is. What about promises? When she makes a commitment, does she follow through, even when it's inconvenient? If she says she'll help a friend move or call someone back, does she do it when there's no one to hold her accountable? A woman who keeps her word, even when it's difficult, is a woman you can trust. But if she constantly makes excuses, breaking small promises as if they don't matter, it's a sign that her integrity is only surface deep. Integrity isn't about what people do when they're being watched. It's about what they do when they think no one will ever find out. Maybe she's at a store and the cashier accidentally undercharges her. Does she point it out, or does she stay quiet, pocketing the extra change? That small decision speaks volumes. If she chooses dishonesty in something so minor, what will she do when the stakes are higher? If she compromises her values when there's no risk, imagine how far she'll go when there's something to gain. How does she treat the people she doesn't need to impress? Not just strangers, but those who hold no power in her life. the janitor cleaning her office building, the driver who accidentally cuts her off in traffic, the waiter who's having a bad day. When no one is watching, does she show kindness, patience, and respect? Or does she let her frustration and entitlement take over? These small interactions are windows into her soul. Now, think about her habits. What does she do with her time when she's alone? Does she work on herself, pursuing personal growth, learning, or improving her health? Or does she spend hours scrolling through social media, chasing validation from strangers? A woman who invests in herself when no one's around is a woman who understands the value of self-discipline. She doesn't need external motivation to push herself forward. She's driven by her own internal compass. And then there's honesty. When she tells you about her day, does her story match reality? Or does she embellish, twisting the narrative to make herself look better? Does she own up to her mistakes? Or does she hide them, hoping you'll never find out? A woman who can be honest with herself will be honest with you. But if she's comfortable bending the truth in her private life, don't expect her to suddenly become truthful in your relationship. How does she handle temptation? Let's say she's in a situation where she could cheat, cut corners, or take the easy way out without anyone knowing. What does she do? Does she hold herself to a standard of integrity, or does she give in, justifying her actions because no one will find out? Temptation reveals true character, and a woman who can resist it, even when it's easy to give in, is someone you can trust. What about her generosity? When she has the chance to help someone anonymously, does she take it? Maybe she knows a coworker is struggling but doesn't want anyone to know. Does she quietly offer assistance, expecting nothing in return? Generosity without an audience isn't just a kind act. It's a reflection of a deeply rooted value system. A woman who gives without seeking recognition understands the true meaning of compassion. Privacy is another layer to consider. How does she handle your personal information? When you share something vulnerable or private, does she protect it, or does she let it slip out in casual conversation, thinking you'll never find out? Trust isn't just about what people do in the big moments. It's built on the hundreds of small, unseen decisions they make every day. Does she respect herself when no one is watching? Self-respect is the foundation of all other forms of respect. Does she hold herself accountable, maintaining her standards even when it's hard? Or does she let things slide, cutting corners in her personal life because it's easier? A woman who respects herself in private will respect you in your relationship. But if she doesn't value her own time, energy, or integrity, don't expect her to value yours. Think about how she spends her money. Does she use it responsibly, planning for the future, or does she blow it on superficial things to keep up appearances? A woman's financial habits, especially in private, tell you whether she's disciplined or impulsive. If she can't manage her own resources, how will she contribute to a partnership? And what about her health? Does she take care of herself when no one is watching, eating well, staying active, and making choices that support her long-term well-being? Or does she let it all go, only making an effort when she's in the spotlight? A woman who prioritizes her health in private is a woman who values longevity and discipline, two qualities that will benefit any relationship. Then there's the question of how she speaks about others. When she's alone with you, does she uplift people, or does she tear them down? Her private conversations reveal her true thoughts. If she's kind in public but cruel in private, her kindness is a performance, not a value. And one day, that cruelty will find its way to you. Her private actions aren't just isolated incidents. They're a pattern that will eventually shape your relationship. If she's dishonest, lazy, or disrespectful in private, those traits will bleed into her interactions with you. But if she's consistent, disciplined and kind when no one is watching, you've found someone rare, someone worth building a life with. So, pay attention. Look past the surface, past the performances, past the words. Watch what she does when no one is watching, because that's who she really is. And when you see the truth, don't ignore it. Your future depends on your ability to recognize and act on what you see. Don't settle for anything less than integrity, because the woman you choose will shape the life you live. You've heard the truths, and now the choice is yours. You can either continue walking blindly, hoping for the best, or you can step into the clarity you deserve. These 5 signs aren't just observations. They're your armor in a world that thrives on illusions. Women can be mysterious, captivating, and yes, sometimes challenging. But the ones worth your time will show you their character through their actions, not just their words. Think back to everything you've been through, the betrayals, the doubts, the moments where you second-guessed yourself. It all led you here to this point where you have the knowledge to never be fooled again. The right woman will elevate you, stand by you, and grow with you, but the wrong one will drain you, break you, and leave you questioning everything. Now that you know the truth, don't ignore it. Don't settle for less than you deserve, because your time, your energy, and your future are worth so much more than being tied to someone who doesn't value you or match your standards. You're not here to chase illusions. You're here to find someone real, someone worthy. Someone who will stand with you through the highs and the lows. If you found value in what you've heard today, don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button now. By doing so, you're not just supporting this channel, you're supporting a movement that helps men like you see the truth, make better decisions, and take control of their relationships and lives. Comment below, "I see the truth," if you're ready to take what you've learned and apply it to every relationship moving forward. And share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. Together we can spread the message, challenge the illusions, and create a community of men who refuse to settle for anything less than what they deserve. Your journey doesn't stop here. This is just the beginning. Stay tuned, because there's so much more to uncover, and the next truth might just be the one that changes your life forever. Keep watching, keep growing, and always demand the best. See you in the next video.